So, here is a quick life hack for NJs, and honestly, probably anyone with poor introverted sensing. Just want to say hello. I haven't uploaded in a while. I've been pretty busy, and as you'll see as I get into this life hack, this is something that I'm doing right now that is actually going to try and help me keep on track with uploading more often. So, what I have found works for me, and I think is a good life hack for all NJs, is every time you think of something that you have to do, or that you want to do, or that you need to purchase, or that a bill you need to pay, or anything like that, write it down instantly. And I think that, especially for NJs, we tend to just rely on the fact that we have this internal drive going that is going to make sure that we get things done. But sometimes it's easy for things to slip our mind if we don't see the importance, or if we find it an insignificant thing. But sometimes the things that we think are insignificant, actually the world thinks is significant. Like, for example, I just bought a new car because my car crashed, and I needed to get screws to screw in my license plate on both sides. The state that I got the car in, they only required it on one, and so they didn't have enough screws for it to be on both sides. And that's something that I'm like, I'll get that when it's convenient. But then I had to sort of catch myself and be like, just because I don't think getting screws right this second seems like an important thing for my life. Like, I could just be like, like I could drive a little bit, I'm not going to get pulled over. But those are the things, those are the areas that you notice SJs never forget. And people with stronger introverted sensing would never forget to get screws. And I think for us, as NJs, it seems like they're being a little paranoid when they're like, oh my god, what if I get pulled over this very instant? I need to get screws right now. And NJs are more likely to be like, it's fine. It sort of comes with our risk-taking, contrarian spirit. But those are exactly the things that we could forget if we don't, write it down instantly. And I'm trying to get better at this. Like, at work, I make a running to-do list just by my side nonstop, and it motivates me to cross things off and stuff. My INFJ coworker also does this and also gets a lot of value out of having a running list. I'm not sure what NTJs would have to say about this, but what we both share is that I don't want to say that introverted sensing is necessarily correlated with memory, but there is something true about the fact that NJs seem to just forget the little things. And so no, it's not associated with memory in the same way that SJs forget their bigger purpose and why they're on Earth, or why they're at their job, or why they're doing what they're doing. It's like SI and NI both sort of seem to me like they're both introverted perceiving functions, which means that they're both like the totality, like the depths of everything that you've ever perceived. And SI is in the sensory view, and NI is in the intuitive. And so an NJ is going to always sort of know the why, the collective why behind everything they're doing. Like, every time I go to work, if something, it's like I'm actively choosing that over something else, and I feel like I can't really complain about some things. Like, I can't complain about going to work unless I want to not be thankful for the fact that I have money coming in. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like NJs, their reason why they do things is very connected, and so it's very hard to like fragment. Like every time I go to work, I'm like, okay, these things might suck, but these things are helpful because I like need the money coming in, and I'm learning, and I like this and this and this, and we don't really pick and choose. We understand that we can't like just pick and choose with reality of what aspects we want, what aspects we don't want. It's like, oh, like I would like to hang out with this new guy I'm dating, but I also would like to get some sleep, and I also would like to get some work done. It's like, pick your battles, and you always know why you're doing what you're doing. Whenever I'm working, I know, or it's like right now I'm sort of getting my life together and making to-do lists and stuff. It's like, I know I could be hanging out with a friend, I could be doing this, but I'm actively choosing this. I don't know if that makes sense. If you're an NJ and you like are like, yes, I know what you're saying, please comment below. Because I wasn't planning on sharing that, it just sort of came out. And yeah, but anyway, so the life hack I have, the whole point of this video for NJs. So I just made basically a list of everything that I want to purchase at some point. And then I made a list of things that I like need to purchase now, like paper towels. And then like the other list of purchases I'd like to make at some point: winter coat, a blanket. Like, you know, like those are things that it's like, yeah, I'm gonna probably need that sometime soon because I don't have those things. But it's not urgent. But I think that for an NJ, it's like our mind, it doesn't have the sort of categories in the way that an SJ or anyone with stronger SI would have. And so it's really hard to organize the external world. Like, it's, okay, what I'm trying to say is, so I have all these investment purchases because if I don't see it all at once, and this is where it's connected to, okay, extroverted sensing. It helps to have it all extroverted sensing, all out here external. It's easier for me to interact with all of the things I have to do if it's out external in the extroverted sensing. It's way easier for me to understand my priorities. So for example, what happens is once I make a list of everything that I would like to buy, then I know, okay, I need that way more than I need that. I need that way more than I need that. But I can't really process that in my head that much because I don't think about those things. I don't really care about material things. I mean, not that I don't care. Like, everyone wants to be comfortable. Everyone wants to be happy and, like, have the things that they want. But I'm saying it's like, it doesn't take up much of my mental energy. I'm too busy thinking about my life path to think about what I need to get at the store. And yeah, another example of a list is that I wrote down all of the groceries that I already have, and I wrote down like potential things that I could buy, and like trying to think about what I should make for lunch or what I should like cook for myself next week. Like, it's helpful to see what I have, what I could have, and then put it together, because if I'm at the store, I might not remember like what I have in the fridge because I really don't pay attention. Like, when I open the fridge, I'm just gonna get what I want and leave. I'm not gonna like notice like, oh, I'm running low on onions. Like, I don't care, and I don't, like, I know my SFJ mom, like, she'll notice when we're running low and like remember it. And it's okay in the same sense that as an NJ, my who am I, what am I gonna be is like pounding in my head at all times. I feel like for my mom as an ESFJ, it's like, we need onions is like what is like in her head all the time. And so like when she goes to the store, like she's gonna like remember like what we have at home, because like that is her life, like that's what she pays attention to. And I don't pay attention to those things. And so, okay, yeah, what I was going to say about the list of investment purchases is that if I just sort of have in my mind, yeah, I would like some new shoes for fall. But if I don't weigh it against the fact that, oh, I also don't have a winter coat and I don't want to wait until it's cold and then be like fucked one day and not have a coat. Like, I need to like see them all. And what I'm trying to say is that since I don't plan these things, it's very likely that I would not think about the fact that I need something until I saw it in the store, and then I would be like, oh yeah, I do need that. I should get it now. So that I just get it out of the way. But whenever I do it like that, it's not as thoughtful, and it's not as... It might not have to do with my actual priority. Unless I organize my priority, and I know my priority going in, then I'm just going to get whatever is easiest. When maybe I don't have enough money this month to get shoes, whatever else I have on this list. If I don't have enough for all of it in this month, then it would suck if I just bought something. Oh, yeah, I did need that. But then turns out that something that I needed even more, I didn't even consider. And this just all boils down to the fact that NJs, it's like, I'm just not really thinking about my physical needs. Like, and this is me trying right now, honestly, and it's a little overwhelming. I'm thinking about, okay, I've got to make sure I eat food. I've got to make sure, it's like, oh, I haven't had paper towels for a while. I've just been using toilet paper to wash my hands. That's probably not the most efficient. You know, like, we don't think about those things. And yeah, this is me trying, and I don't know. This is probably not the most mind-blowing life hack you've ever heard. I'm sure that you have heard to write things down before. I didn't make that up. But what I do find fascinating, and something that I want to explore more in the future, is how there's no such thing, well, one-size-fits-all advice is not very common. Like, to say, oh, make a list, it like doesn't necessarily work the same for different sorts of people. Like, NPs, comment and let me know what you think, because my guess would be that NPs don't really need to make these lists, and even though their SI is poor, it's not forgotten, and it's not a blind spot in the way that it is for NJs, ENJs especially. It's their seventh function. I would guess that NPs, even if they forget certain things, they're more adaptable, and that they don't need these sort of lists, and that stresses them out more. But let me know what you think. I think that NJs want to feel like their life is in order, even if they don't prefer to think about sensory things all day. I would say that most of us understand that you can't succeed in the world if you aren't grounded at least somewhat. And so I personally am always thinking about ways that I can maximize my time. I think that's a very NJ thing, honestly. Wanting to maximize your time and being almost obsessive about making sure that you're getting the most out of every hour, and that you're being true with your purpose when you do that, and that you aren't like accidentally spending too much time hanging out with friends whenever your values are that you're trying to get a promotion at work, or if you're spending too much time spinning your wheels and working too much that your relationships are falling. Like, I think that all NJs want to like make sure that they're spending their time wisely and maximize their time. And since we to think about chores and shopping lists, then I think that to-do lists or to get lists or like remember lists, organize them however you want. And this may or may not be something you need for your work. I might have said this earlier, but I think that NJs a lot of times rely on their passion in order to get things done. They don't need it to, like, if you are in your dream job right now, then you might not need a to-do list because you might just be going all in and just diving in and doing it and wanting to do it holistically. That, like, if I'm talking about, like, work or something, like if you were starting a business or if you were working on a blog or something, like, you might not need organization if you feel so compelled to do it that you don't even need to be reminded. But what I've found for me is that my energy levels fluctuate and that sometimes I don't need lists, or sometimes, like, passion projects of mine, for example, this YouTube and other blogs and stuff that I enjoy. Sometimes I get in moods and seasons where I don't need any sort of organization. I just do it without really being asked, and I just go all in. And then sometimes it's like weeks will go by where I just don't feel motivated, but I'm like so used to being a motivated person that I'll just be like, I guess right now is not the right time to do it. I'll just wait until I feel motivated. But that's not very sustainable, and that's an issue that NJs have, is that with our lack of introverted sensing, we sort of forget about making things sustainable, and we would like our drive and our energy to be what sustains us. And most of the time that could be true, but not all the time. So, yeah. I hope that this little talk was helpful. Comment below if you have any other ideas of things that you would like me to talk about. I think I'm going to try and get in the swing of doing 3 videos a week. That seems doable for me. I think that as much as I would like to just go off the cuff, that I sort of need a schedule. And so that's what I'm going to try and do. That's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, have a wonderful Sunday and rest of your week.